This is Ryan Elliott for ID Boxing. It's open workout day. Kalle Sauerland, crazy turnout ahead of KSI's return on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's a crazy start to the craziest week I've ever had in boxing in 29 years. I mean, the numbers are insane. The reach is second to none I've ever seen on any of the big fights we've done over the years. It's just madness. You know, sold out O2 on Saturday night. It's going to be. We had the merchandise dropping yesterday. It's a totally new thing for me in a boxing fight week. Totally sold out. Got another drop coming later today. Misfits Boxing is officially launched this week, and we're looking forward to it.
Obviously, with Alex Wasabi pulling out, it was left with a bit of a hole to fill. When it was just Swarms announced, the response was underwhelming. 2 opponents, whose idea?
I can't gauge underwhelming, overwhelming in this world. It's like, you know, whether it was Wasabi or Swarms. I've heard of Swarms. I've never heard of Wasabi before. But I'm not the audience. I'm not the gauge on this one. We're here to put on a boxing show. This is self-promoted. These guys are all superstars. So, you know, when KSI came up with the idea, I want to fight Swarms and a pro fight on the same night, I've got to say I was speechless, because I just thought in real boxing that would be like, no. But he's 1,000 days out the ring. Over 1,000 days out the ring. So he's fighting a rapper who's bigger than him. We have no idea what he's going to bring. He's a big lump. He's going to fight him as the first fight on the card. So if you got lucky enough to have a seat, get there. 7 o'clock sharp, he's walking to that ring. He's not walking at the end of the night. He's only doing that if he gets through Swarms. Then he fights a Mexican pro fighter. Once again, at this stage of his career, he's raising that bar so high. Like he seems to be doing in all the other things he does. He raises that bar to a level. And he loves the challenge. You know, there's a lot easier ways. The place was already sold out. You know, you can say it was underwhelming with Swarms. He could have easily stuck with Swarms as the main event. He wanted more, and hats off to him. You know, he's got to go and perform now, though.
I can imagine you've had many a long sleepless night as a promoter with opponent issues, etc. But when you bring the second opponent in, and then he has to be pulled out after his controversial tattoo service, and you got to go back out and find someone else, how stressful was that period?
You know, everything around this has been new. I can't say stressful, because I've been in other boxing shows as well. I've had pull-outs on the day of the fight, I've had pull-outs at weigh-ins, I've had pull-outs on the morning of the event. And, you know, that's boxing. You can't, despite it being these superstars in their worlds, at the end of the day it is boxing. We're putting on a boxing show on Saturday. They're boxing in 10-ounce gloves, you know. KSI's got 2-3 rounders. You know, people have compared it a little bit. You know, the closest thing in pro boxing we've seen in this country is probably like prize fighter. But the difference here is that he doesn't know anything about Swarms. He can't know, because it's his first fight. And the Mexican, also an nondescript guy. He's got a 2-5 record. Someone you'd probably match as a novice at this stage of his career. But it's the way they do it. It's phenomenal. And I've got to say, KSI, he takes this very seriously. He doesn't make statements like other crossover fighters. I'm going to fight Canelo. I'm going to fight this in my next fight. No, he gets it. He loves the sport. He's a #1 selling artist. He's got, you know, loads of other businesses. He's the biggest YouTuber on the planet. But he trains the whole time. He travels with that team. He has that advantage over other novice pros, that he can go out and do that and have teams that travel around the world with him, training him. He's got full-time nutritionists, boxing trainers, athletic trainers. It's phenomenal. The dedication, you've got to give it to him. Whatever your opinion is, he trains like any pro.
Just a word on KSI, Jake Paul. KSI got in that ring there and said that's why he's back. He wants to beat these two people. He wants the Jake Paul fight. It's hard for us to comprehend at times. Of all the big fights you worked on, how big is KSI versus Jake Paul?
I mean, numbers-wise, it's bigger than any boxing fight on planet Earth. We're talking a lot about the heavyweights at the moment, but let me get this right. Numbers-wise, There's no bigger fight on planet Earth that involves boxing gloves. Right? It's as simple as that. And it's huge. And let's see, let's get through this week and we'll be talking.
To go back to Saudi Arabia at the weekend, we'll start with Filip Hrgovic first. I'm sure you were on the edge of your seat watching for the whole 12 rounds, edged out Zhilei Zhang. Brilliant fight. When the final bell went, did you feel he'd done enough to get it?
I did. Despite the 10-8, which wasn't a 10-8 in the first round, I still think he nicked it. It wasn't his best night. Let's not beat around the bush. But we got the W. That's what counts in boxing. And we move on. We are now mandatory challenger to Oleksandr Usyk. Period.
There's some people suggesting on commentary, etc., that something wasn't quite right with Filip. Some people saying maybe he was ill. Was Filip 100% going in that fight?
I don't know. His mindset, it wasn't ill, but the mindset was like, why didn't he react when the referee started counting in the first round? Zhang was shocked that he started counting because it was. I don't think Zhang meant anything bad by it, but Zhang was going to pull him in to him, and he pulled him down, and he fell on the floor. It's not knockdown, it's not WWE. So why didn't he react there? Like there was a couple of times he looked away, and he'll learn from that. But the people who are saying, "Oh, he's a hype job," listen, you can blame me for the hype job, but I'm not the one who's built up Filip Hrgovic. There's a reason that everyone knows about him. He's been on the scene for years and years and years, long before he turned pro. So the WBSB fought the best, has an amazing repertoire, and I'm not the one who got to see the fella on my right. This is what it's all about this week. Can you zoom in on him? Look at this fella here. I mean, this is what it's all about, isn't it? What the fuck is that? That is fantastic. I need one of them. I'm going to go get myself one of them. So I'm not hyping Filip Hrgovic. I don't need to.
In terms of Usyk's mandatories, he's going to have a bit of a queue coming up. Filip Hrgovic there, Joyce Parker winner. Have you any idea what kind of sequence they'll be called in for Usyk?
For me, the IBF is the next one. It's overdue. Pulev was the last IBF, but that Pulev one was ordered well before COVID. So we're talking, it's a long time. The IBF's very strict on these things. And that's all I've got to say to that at the moment. But one thing, before people come and tell me, oh, you're going to step in the way of Fury, Usyk. Not a chance. We respect that. That's a great fight. We'll fight the winner.
Just a reaction to the main event. Anthony Joshua, arguably as good as we've ever seen him, but Oleksandr Usyk, an absolute genius.
Yeah, although I don't think Usyk improved from the first fight. I expected him to capitalise on where he had success in the first fight. He didn't. He boxed super, amazing. But I was expecting that bit more. Joshua performed out of his skin. Fantastic improvements. I still think a fight in between would have got him to another place. Interesting.
A lot made of Anthony Joshua's speech we saw after the fight and that outpour emotions. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it's a money clip, isn't it? You know, fuck him. That's what I say. Fuck him. That guy, that champion, has done more for British boxing than a lot of people have ever done. Fury and Joshua are the reason we talk about heavyweights again. Let's not forget that. I don't know any champion who's a good loser. Right? Some might put it on in a way that they say, "Oh yeah, well done, mate," and you know that. Fuck that. He's a bad loser, and so that's what drives him. And yes, it came out in an unfortunate way, but fucking hell, we're making out like he's got in there with a shotgun. You know, I mean, let's chill and let's respect Anthony Joshua. Let's respect that he has feelings. Let's respect what boxers leave in training camps. Did his corner tell him he was winning? But some people are saying, and it was a reaction to that. I don't know. Maybe he thought he was winning. Who cares? He's Anthony Joshua. Have some respect. And let him have that reaction. You know, that's a reaction. It's a real reaction. Better than some fake reaction of him saying, "Oh well, you know, Yeah, no, I'm not buying that. He came out with a bit of the old rude boy in the ring there. I loved it. I mean, from that point of view, it showed the real Joshua. By the way, when I say the real Joshua, I mean the real fighting man Joshua. That showed the spite that his opponents have felt in the ring. It came out, you know, in that sense. Is he like that normally? No, he's not. But he just had a 12-round tear. He's had a fucking hard camp. And he's fallen short. That's the reaction on his sleeve. I don't know. I like people who wear it on their sleeve. Maybe we all should like bottle it up and go in the cellar in the evening and, you know, that bollocks. Wear it on your sleeve. Good on you.
Final one, so you got a lot of media to do. Oleksandr Usyk, Tyson Fury. Who wins and how?
Fury. How, I do not know, but Fury. Too big, and has that IQ, which negates the IQ of Usyk, who, by the way, is one of my favourite fighters. But Fury, that combination of the IQ and the size, step too far.
Kalle, thank you so much for speaking to ID Boxing.